Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. Today we got an NFL Draft Offensive Player of the Week going into the 2022 NFL Draft, and then we got an NFL Defensive Player of the Week prospect going into the 2022 NFL Draft, and then we got an NFL Legend of the Week.
Yeah.
So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me as always, it's now she's finna get involved into our NFL draft resume and information leading up to the draft in April. Coming to us live out of the 615, the Grand Ole Opry, Nashville, Tennessee, the lovely Mrs. Rhonie G. How you doing this morning?
I am very well, Mr. Football. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. So, for further ado, you know how we do it. Let's get on to your players of the week,
All right.
offense and defense, and our legend of the week.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's get to it. The NFL Draft Prospect Offensive Player of the Week is Mr. Calvin Austin III. He's a wide receiver from your stomping ground, Vincent, the 901 Memphis, Tennessee, by way of the University of Memphis. And his stats, he had a career stats are 156 receptions, 2,541 receiving yards, 22 touchdowns, and a career average of 16.3 yards a reception.
All I can say is, I'm very proud of my hometown, the 901. Kevin Austin is on my draft board, nobody else draft board. At the wide receiver position, I have him as my fourth best wide receiver going into the draft. And all I can say is Whitehaven, North Memphis, South Memphis, Frazier, Germantown, 901.
Yep, 901. All right. So NFL Draft Prospect Defensive Player of the Week is Mr. Andrew Booth, cornerback out of Dracula, Georgia. I'm sure I pronounced that name incorrectly, by way of Clemson University.
It's Dracula,
Georgia. All right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
By way of Clemson University. You were saying, Mr. Football.
Dracula is like, I'd say about 40 miles outside Atlanta. It's really close to Athens, Georgia, with the University of Georgia. But Mr. Andrew Booth, fantastic football player.
Mm-hmm.
Played under the system under Clemson, under Dabo Sweeney, one of the top-rated corners in the game. And he's a guy that's going to go pretty high. I predict him he's going to be a second-round pick, and he's going to be an outstanding player at the next level.
Yeah, well, he has some impressive stats. 68 career tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 5 interceptions.
All I can say is Clemson, the Tigers, will you be back in 2022?
Yeah. All right. NFL Legend of the Week is Mr. Claude Humphrey, also out of your stomping ground, Vincent, the 901 Memphis, Tennessee. He was a first-round pick in the 1968 NFL Draft by way of Tennessee State University, selected by the Atlanta Falcons. 6-time Pro Bowl from 1970 to 1974, then again in 1977. 5-time first-team All-Pro, 1971 to 1974, and again in 1977, and a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame in 2014.
Well, like I said, the late, great Claude Humphrey, he passed a couple of years ago. What more can you say? When I remember Claude Humphrey played on that great 1966 Tennessee State team before he got to the NFL, and that team I consider, and I put that team up against anybody on any college level from Michigan State to even Alabama to even Georgia. When you look at that 66 Tennessee State team, Eldridge Dickey, Nolan Smith, Jimmy Marcellus, Bill Tucker, 27 players in 3 years drafted in the National Football League. And Mr. Claude Humphrey, I hope the people, especially from the Leicester community, realize what he meant to that community and how he went on and represented on a college level and a professional level. The greatest joy about Claude Humphrey that he got to play in the Super Bowl in 1980. But he's a royalty. And when I look at Claude Humphrey, from where I'm from, the 901, I consider him a great ambassador. I put him up there with the great legends, Isaac Hayes, David Porter, Claude Humphrey, Penny Hardaway,
Yeah.
the great Larry Finch. People that rocked our city and people that brought pride and joy. All I can say is the 901 in the house today. Your final words, Mrs. Rhonie G.
Impressive men all the way around. Looking forward to next week's selections.
All I can say is this. We like to say, if you like the video, please come in and share it. And as the great Isaac Hayes, Shaft, to all the players, Mr. Kevin Austin, our NFL Draft Offensive Prospect of the Week, our NFL Draft Prospect Defensive Player of the Week, Mr. Andrew Both, and our Legend of the Week, Mr. Claude Humphrey. Like the great Isaac Hayes, when he said, Shaft, I'm a bad mama. Shut your mouth. And thank you to our producer, Mr. Logan Landers. If you like the video, please come in and share it. And please watch the Combine this weekend.